So these are the examples of little versus great tradition. That's also a cultural change. Next is, finally you have westernization and modernization. Most confused terms. Many do not know what exactly is westernization. If somebody wears a branded t-shirt of the West, westernization, those old atavistic orthodox groups in India on both sides of the system, maybe Islamic group, Hindu groups, etc. People are not happy with celebration of Valentine's Day. People are, I mean, when it is only on Valentine's Day that you remember that there is something called culture of India, supporters of culture of India, etc. And all. Where does this all emerge from? There is a confused idea of what is modernization and westernization. Ask them what is culture, they won't be able to define. They are there on the street because they are jobless. They don't know what to do, and leave it. If I dig deeper, there will be many things in this. Okay, when I discuss westernization, modernization, what do you understand by westernization? Is modernization same as westernization? Yes. When you say someone is modern, what do you mean by that? Modern is defined by your clothes, a scooter, and your, what it is defined by? Your thoughts. So when you say someone is modern, what is that thought? Okay, first we'll see what is westernization. Westernization simply means influence of the West. So if there is something, an idea which emerges in the West, and then we are following it, that is called westernization. The entire phenomenon which occurs in India under British India, British rule, that phenomenon is called westernization. Whatever happened in India after the coming of British company in India and all those regulation acts till date, all what effect they brought in the society, that is a form of westernization, a contribution of the West. But it does not mean that every Western idea is a modern idea. There are many atavistic, orthodox ideas even the West. Yes, you may not be knowing that Enlightenment period is considered as, you have studied Enlightenment as rationalistic, humanistic, etc. But it was during the same Enlightenment period that magic, superstitious beliefs emerged in Europe. Yes, so everything is not all good and fine and all rational in the West. Leave all rationality. And what is colonialism? Do you consider colonialism as a modern idea? It is an idea which believes in the white supremacy. It is an idea which says that you are barbarians, you do not know how to rule, you do not know how to protect your women. We will come and teach you what is civilization. We will protect your women. And in the name of protecting and improving us in terms of civilizational progress, what they did was they took us to dark ages, completely exploited the countries. Now, what form of modernization are those people talking of? Now, modernization is not railways, etc. Modernization also means that you treat people equally. So, where was that equality which was existing under colonialism? So, what I'm trying to say is, yes, modernism does mean modernization there are certain modern qualities in the West. I'm not denying that. But when they came to India or any particular colonial country, there the modernization stopped or halted. They had a different scale or a benchmark to modernize others. Is that clear? So colonialism is an idea which is belonging to the West but not modern. Now, what exactly do you understand by modern? Someone who is modern believes in these four general ideas. One is individualism. Individualism. Second is rejection of fatalism. Rationalism. Next is cosmopolitanism. Okay. What is individualism? The person slightly rejects any kinds of, when I say individualism, the person believes that he or she is responsible for the decisions or actions he or she is taking. And whatever course of life he or she wants to take, it is his or her own individual decision. So now you can understand it in a particular context. In India, starting from your school to your marriage, who you're going to marry, is all determined by your family. You don't have a choice to choose your career also, like which career you want. No. Suppose you say, no, I want to do something else. Like, if you say, Today, if you say somebody, I mean, to your father or parents, I want to become a musician. I remember when I was in 12th, after 12th, I was going to DU. My father asked me, why are you leaving medical and going to DU? So I told I was to become a writer. Okay, that was my naive idea. I don't know whether I was serious about it at the point in time, but when I said that, what he said is, you can come back home. So so I changed my idea saying that, okay, I'll become civil servant. So that was more acceptable to him. So when you think you are not, when you say, why am I giving you this example? Because when you measure something as modern, this is one standard. But that does not mean that you are rejecting your family or going out of the family, doing whatever you want to. That is not individualism. That's a corrupted form of individualism. You can make things work according to your own wish, provided you have a proper dialogue with your parents. Yes, that is where the ingenuity and creativity lies. Second is fatalism. What is fatalism? During the old period and all, during the feudal period, there was a excessive influence of fatalism. Excessive influence of fatalism refers to what? Uh, uh, Fatalism particularly is an idea which says that whatever I do, I reach the same point, irrespective of my free will. Fatalism simply means whatever I do, it is already written. What is going to happen is going to happen. So someone who rejects this idea of fatalism is considered a modern individual in the present times, after enlightenment, etc. and all. So this is some sort of scientific. Whether it is true or not, that's not my point. So I have a huge, I mean, if you take my personal ideas on this, I feel that many things are already fixed for you. You may change certain things, but certain things, like if you're not meant for a particular thing, however hard you try, it is not there. So that's a different thing. I'm not saying whether fatalism or free will exists. That's a debate completely in philosophy or in ethics also you study. So whether you have free will or whether everything is determined, that is different. But at least you don't believe in that. Because if you start believing in determinism, and if you say that whatever happens, happens, you won't come to school class also. Yes? Is that clear? So fatalism is rejection of fatalism. Third is rationalism. What is rationalism? Rationalism is objectivity in everything. Do you feel, I mean, what is the difference between human beings and animals? The biggest thing is rational faculty. Animals cannot think. The very first quick reaction or the very first reaction of an animal is pouncing. Yes, fear. Rationality is less. Even it may be, you may say that, oh, some cats these days are acting smart and all. Those are all, I mean, certain kind of trained things and all. But what I'm speaking about, rational faculty is it's a human quality. So, what is rational faculty? Before fighting, let's discuss. So, if that does not happen, then we'll take shoes and all. Is that clear? So rationalism is basically solving problems or understanding everything objectively through your rational faculty. And when we say rationalism, it also means that disbelief in something which you cannot understand. Suppose I mean, there are many things where you don't get an explanation. Yes, there are many events. So where you just reject it and say, okay, this is rational, this is my rational faculty, this is what my reasoning says. So suppose someone comes to me and says, Shabrimala, temple entry won't be allowed because Ayyappa will not like it. Why will I take that argument? Because I have not met him, nor you have met him. So rational grounds you argue, that is what is the meaning of what you and I can see, touch, feel, etc. and analyze. That is what is the belief of a modern individual. So I'm not saying there is nothing called supra-rational. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there must be something supra-rational which I don't understand. So which I don't understand, that comes into the spiritual field. That's the field of people like, I mean, spiritual gurus and all who think about it. But as a rational individual, what is important for me in a political system, I'm going to do that. Next is cosmopolitanism. Cosmopolitanism refers to no narrow-mindedness. Today, you have different kinds of identities. You belong to a particular family, you belong to a particular caste. Cosmopolitan is rejection of the idea of you belonging to a particular country. This is a larger idea, and it's an idea which is highly progressive. Someday might emerge where national boundaries may not be strict. Today, what we recognize as we are Indians and different from Pakistan is what we recognize. So this leads to certain kind of war kind of tendencies, toxic nationalism. And the first person in India to recognize cosmopolitanism was Tagore. So Tagore was criticized by many people as anti-national because he said that nationalism is toxic. And later on, Gandhi imbibes his idea because due to his conversation with Tagore. So cosmopolitanism, this person is there. Then you have M.N. Roy also is a cosmopolitan, so who believe in universal citizenship, who believe that the world is a family. This world is a family is there in India also. It's an idea in Hinduism. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is modern ideas may be present in Western, may be present in India. I've given examples. Cosmopolitan idea is there in India also. And I'm making an argument just to make the difference of between modernization and westernization very clear. Many people say, or there are not many, certain groups in India criticize Constitution of India, saying that it is a borrowed constitution, it is a mere imitation of the West. And so that those are basically the rightist groups in India who want a constitution which is rooted in Indian tradition. So there is Deen Dayal Upadhyay and all. Those people criticize this. Now, when they are criticizing this, they have not understood the meaning of modernization. So they say that it is imitated from the West, liberty, equality, fraternity, you have borrowed and all. See, liberty, equality, and fraternity may have emerged in France. We all know. But does France have a IPR over that? They have a copyright. Liberty, equality, and fraternity, when you are born as an individual, it is yours. So irrespective of which country does it belong to, or which country does it originated in, it belongs to the entire world. So there is a muddled understanding of what is modernization and what is westernization. So constitution is not an imitation, it's not even a borrowed constitution. There are certain very good changes made according to the demands of India. What are those changes and all? When we discuss polity, we'll discuss. Is this fine? So if we finish social change, in social change we have done two changes: structural change, cultural change. Under cultural change we have discussed types, rather than types, different kinds of it. Sanskritization, desanskritization, little tradition and great tradition. Finally modernization and westernization. Is this fine?